I'm John Purcell, R&D lead for vegetable seeds for Bayer. I tell people all the time I got the greatest job in the world, fly around the globe helping farmers grow beautiful, delicious, nutritious fruits and vegetables. I think one of the great things about food and agriculture is you can really impact everything from what happens on the farm all the way to the experience the consumer has to have, especially in the fruit and vegetable space, or the R&D that I lead, because you really do have to span everything from the farm to the fork. Well, for me, I love science, first of all, but I really do love the fact that we can have a fundamental impact on food production. And food production is really at the center of so many topics, whether it be sustainability, whether it be water, energy. I mean, what's more fundamental than providing food to the world? And so for me, being in agriculture, it's incredibly rewarding, and in fruits and vegetables, especially because it has such resonance with consumers around the world. Yeah, so I've been in agriculture industry for 30 years now, 3 decades, and when I see what impact modern biology has had on food production, it's remarkable. There's lots of tools in the toolbox. My dad was a carpenter, and he always said, don't leave for a job unless you got the right tools in the toolbox. And biotechnology is one tool, advanced breeding techniques, other ways of protecting crops, whether it be crop protection or biologicals. These are all tools that we need in agriculture, and increasingly digital tools to manage how you actually produce that crop. So it's an exciting time, and there's so many new technologies flowing in to help farmers control pests, control diseases, help their crop be productive, but also products that actually are very, very advantageous from a consumer perspective. And to me, that's what's exciting about this. We really are harnessing the power of modern biology to deliver on the farm and deliver on the plate. So when I think about the sustainability and development goals, I think one of the real pleasures I've had, I've been on farms in 35 countries, and I'm not just talking 10,000 hectare farms. I'm talking half a hectare. I'm talking farmers in India and South Africa, Indonesia. Many cases, women farmers who are the primary source of income, and one of the cool things about seed is, in many cases, it is absolutely scale neutral, because every farmer starts with seed. And seed is a vehicle which we can deliver innovation very, very effectively. And so this has tremendous impact on really some of the farmers who have faced the most challenges in the world. And I know for me, some of the greatest gratification I have is when you talk to farmers who are using biotechnology in these countries, small acre farmers, small shareholder, smallholder farmers, when they talk about the difference it's made in their lives. As a scientist, it doesn't get any better than that. So when I think about sustainability and development and smallholder farmers, seed is an absolute key, essential tool, and biotechnology is an absolute essential technology that helps that seed, help them be as productive as possible and really address some of the major goals that are in sustainability and development goals around the world. I had the real pleasure of spending 3 years in our European organization, heading biotechnology for Europe. I was a popular guy at that time, and I think one of the things that struck me, and this was 1999 to 2002, was this dichotomy between incredible science, amazing biology across the continent, and yet incredible hurdles to commercialize products that resulted from that amazing science. And it's interesting here, and I've come back a lot now as part of my job in vegetables, and the discussions here, for example, on gene editing. It's very much a deja vu of discussions we had 20 years ago around GMOs. And that's extremely frustrating, because from a scientific standpoint, there's so much promise. From the technical innovation standpoint, which we need desperately in food and agriculture, to see once again hurdles being put up that make it very, very difficult for that science and that innovation to reach the marketplace, to reach growers and allow them to bring that kind of valuable innovation to producing their crop, and thus would have benefits to the consumer as well. So I've got a lot of history in Europe, having lived here, but also being part of a business where Europe is very important. And I think it is frustrating because there's incredible science, incredible innovation, but it's just very difficult for some of that innovation and science to ever have an impact in the marketplace, which hurts us all because we desperately need innovation when it comes to food and agriculture. I think for many, there was a feeling that this was another great chance to really bring innovation to plant breeding. Because gene editing is plant breeding. It is absolute plant breeding. It is a more efficient way to do it. It's a more effective way to do it. We can get many of these same products through a much more arduous route, more time-consuming route, and gene editing allows you to do it much more effectively. But it was striking because it was a very personal blow to people, because I think the sense was, in many cases, GMOs are not able to go, to be grown at the levels they should be from a production level in Europe. So the thought was, can gene editing allow us to make some of those advances? But that decision was just straight in the face, and as I say, shock really, and very much disappointment that we cannot bring that great innovation to the marketplace in Europe. Really, really give deep thought to the impact these policies are having. All of us who've been in agriculture and have been in this industry for 30 years recognize the tremendous need we have for innovation, the tremendous need we have for really science to help us through some tremendous challenges. A growing population, consumers who are demanding more and more. Sustainability is on the top of everyone's list. You will not meet a farmer or rancher who doesn't think about sustainability. So we need the tools in the toolbox, and this constant challenge to try to get through these regulatory hurdles to bring these innovations to the marketplace have tremendous serious impacts on production, on what consumers are able to access, and really on global food supply. And that is a tremendous weight that's being put on technologies that really, really deserve to be brought to market. And innovation is going to be really the key to solving a lot of the challenges we have in food and agriculture. Europe has such an incredibly impactful role on the world, and I have had the pleasure of working with farmers around the world, small and large, and the impact that European policy has on their ability to really take advantage of technologies and innovation is tremendous. And that's a great responsibility and a great weight. And we have an opportunity for innovation to flow via seed to the most, I think, the growers that need it most. And we have a great opportunity to advance that. But European policy does affect, absolutely, the ability for us to deliver those technologies and innovation to the most deserving farmers of the world, the smallholder farmers around the world. For production within Europe to remain competitive, there needs to be an environment that allows innovation to prosper. And I think for innovation to truly be impactful around the globe, then European policy needs to recognize that it has that kind of global impact. So it helps here at home in Europe, but also helps on the global situation when it comes to food and agriculture. I think one other thing, and this is not for elected officials, it's not for the political or regulators. This is for all of us who are in the agriculture industry. We need to do a much better job of bridging to the 99% of people who are eating food who aren't necessarily producing it. I know we have taken a very active role and really tried to be out there, whether it be on media or social media. My advice and my plea is get involved. Everyone has their own social media channels. Take advantage of that. It's amazing how many people will watch videos from a farm, how many people will like pictures of beautiful tomatoes or beautiful peppers. I try to do it a lot, pretty much 3 or 4 times a week. I encourage all of us in the industry to make that extra effort, to have that extra conversation, to post that picture or that video online, because what you're going to find is people are interested and they want to hear from people who are actually responsible for producing food, and we have a great story to tell. So get out there and tell that story.